Bad boy, come out and play. Yo, peace, love, health, and wealth to the vibe tribe. Where y'all at? Let me get rid of this. Yo, yo, I can't get rid of this sound. I hate when it do this. See, it's coming through the computer now. Bad boy. Let's see if I can turn it down sound. Yo, still coming through the computer. Alright, so that means I probably got an update or something to do on the computer. Alright. Can you hear me? Alright, let's go. Let me see if I can refresh it, if that'll help. Yo. Yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. See, I don't know how to get rid of this. Echo. Alright, so forget it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw in the headphones and we're gonna get the show rolling. Alright, y'all. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we about to get this show started, man. So, I know by now, if not everybody, then okay, that's how you get rid of that? Yo, 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 yo. Oh, okay. So I need to turn off the mic off of this. No, I don't. I don't need to turn the mic off. So let me turn this back up then. Yo, yo, yo. Man. All right. So let me see if I could turn this back down. Yo, yo, yo. Nope, still doing it. Maybe if I leave the studio and come back. Let's see. Let me just totally leave the studio. Leave. Enter the studio. Yo. Okay. I think that worked. I don't got no feedback. Yo, 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 checking the audio. Yo, okay, I see we got a couple people in the chat. Peace, love, health, and wealth to you and yours. Like and subscribe. Help your boy break away from that 9 to 5. All right, so today I'm going to do something a little bit different, okay? Normally, I'm doing readings and advice line, but I wanna kind of touch on this Diddy situation a little bit because it's a whole lot of jabba, a whole lot of you know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of talk surrounding this Diddy situation, and I want to get into it, right? So first, I was just only going to do just a conversation piece. First, I First, I was was only only going to going to do do just a just a conversation conversation piece piece about about Diddy. Diddy. Oh, okay. Don't show this tip again. Wait, what did it say? Your audio is removed. Add yourself back to the layout. Let me see. Can you hear me? Sorry about the technical difficulties. Add yourself back to the layout. Let me see. Can you hear me? Sorry about the technical difficulties. Oh, this mic is. Yo, but then I'm getting the feedback again. All right, so let me try this one more time. All right, all right, all right. 1 second, y'all. I'm getting feedback, and I shouldn't. See if I could turn this down. Nope, that didn't work. Yo, I see. I don't know if that's coming from. No, that's coming from the computer. All right. So let me refresh it one more time and see. Yo, yo, yo. All right. So I don't know how to get rid of this feedback. Yeah. See, last time I just left out and came back and it worked. Let me see. Turn this down. All right. So like I was saying, y'all, it's a whole lot of hoopla going on with this whole Diddy situation. And so I just want to give my 2 cents about the Diddy situation and kind of look at it from a healer's slash wait, let me see. 7. Let me put that on my phone. Let's write that somewhere. 8 minutes. All right. Let me put 7:30. 7:30. I go 7:30. 7:30. All right. All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties, y'all. I'm getting feedback. I don't think y'all can hear it, but I'm getting the feedback and it's throwing me off hearing my own voice. So I want to shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for liking. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you're catching this on a replay, please comment and let me know what you think. Uh, so here's gonna be the format for today's show. I'm going to pull a tarot card or two or three or four just to see what the cards got. You know, I'm just asking for a general reading on Diddy. Not jail, not death, not is he, this one or that one, not is he guilty. I'm just gonna pull a general reading for Diddy, and then I'm gonna kind of go into some of the talking points that I got. And I feel like the talking points that I got is very important to me because of the way I see the world, right? And I'm not gonna dive too deep into that, but I just want to say like my perspective isn't a perspective that I am hearing a lot on other platforms. Um and maybe I'm not saying that it's not out there per se, but I'm just saying like the perspective that I've been kind of viewing this thing from or the just just what my spirit has been saying to me as I watch some of this stuff unfold for the last really over the last year, but really over like the last week. You know what I'm saying? Specifically over the last week. Like my spirit has been talking to me and what I'm seeing, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm like I said, I'm gonna get to the tarot cards first, and then because I actually took notes and I took some notes Excuse me. All right. So let's see. Great tarot, great tarot, great tarot. Can I get some cards on the Diddy monster? If y'all want to call him a Diddy monster, I don't really want to call him a Diddy monster, but that's just what came out. Okay. All right. So let me cut the cards. All right. So Diddy's first card, is the Three of Wands. Okay. So the three itself is about growth and expansion, right? And the three is about a person who has came up with a plan on manifestation, and now he's in a process to where he sent the manifestation up, or he sent the prayers up, or he set the plan in motion, right? And now he's just waiting for things to come to fruition. Okay. So one key term that I love with this card is patience. Right. I know there's a classical meaning to all the tarot cards and everything like that, but for me personally, patience is the first thing that always come out, because you if you can, I wish I can zoom in, but I can't. Wait, can I zoom in? I don't think I can zoom in. No, I can't zoom in on this on StreamYard. But one thing that always get me about this card here is you got a guy who is standing over a cliff, right? Maybe at a harbor or something like that. And he's seeing ships come and go, right? I think the classical tarot, the way I learned, they said that the ships was coming in. But to me, it kind of looked like the ships is going out. But hey, who am I to argue, right? But one thing I know is that when you dealing with shipment of things, right? Like a prayer, for example, right? Where you send your thoughts to God or the Most High or to your higher self or the universe or whatever you want to call it. One thing that you got to learn when you dealing with travel is patience, right? Some people say this is international business, right? Some people say this is a person possibly contemplating traveling, or maybe this is a person who kind of missed or is waiting on their opportunity to travel. Okay. But remember, the three is all about growth and expansion, right? And then when you look at the wands is all about your desires, right? Your motivations, the things that you want to manifest in your life. Okay. So So this card right here is saying that there's a waiting game that's going to happen. Okay. Uh, I think I'm gonna have to pull another card. Okay. But yeah, some of the other key terms that go along with this is progress, unity, and foresight. Okay. So I don't know if this card is saying that Diddy is gonna be making some progress, or I don't know what this card is saying. Okay. But second card that came out is the 5 of Cups, okay? So, the 5 of Cups, right? Remember the 5 is all about conflict, and then the Cups is all about love, intuition, emotions, etc., right? So, the figure here is a person, in my opinion, is the person who becomes the hermit in the major arcana, but this person is a person who isn't quite where they want to be in life, and so they are worried about spilled milk or spilled wine here, right? Because we got red coming from from the knocked over cups. Okay, so one thing about this person is that instead of taking action, right? To either correct their wrongs or to move on, they is feeling guilt, anguish, et cetera, right? So if if we can start to build a picture between these two cars, right? We got a person who is kind of using foresight, right? A person who's kind of overlooking the horizon, so to say. And then we got a person who is kind of like in a depressed state. Okay, so maybe what these cars are saying so far is that Diddy is a person who is maybe kind of remorseful in a sense. But this card right here, the five, the thing about this five is that there is a stream here, right? To in which you can pick up your cups and you can go wash them out, and then you can head over that little bridge that's on the right hand side of the car. And there is how do you say? There is more life to live on the other side. Right. So I don't know if these cars are saying that Diddy is remorseful and that he is entering a state of depression or something like that. I don't want to feed the narrative that Diddy is contemplating self harm. Okay. But that's what I'm feeling right now. Okay. Also, we have the Two of Pentacles. Okay. So the two is all about duality, right? Being able to balance the wants and the needs, being able to balance the light and the dark, whatever the balance is. Okay, so there's a balancing act that's going on with Diddy right now. As you can see in the back, there is very high tides, very large waves. Okay, and I'm not quite sure how well these large waves are navigating. So when you break down symbology of tarot, those large waves is saying that there is a very emotional, a very emotional internal dialogue that's going on, right? So intuitively what I'm feeling like, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and start getting into some of my talking points and maybe zero back around, which is that a lot of people said that the diddler wasn't really remorseful when he made that public apology, right? And then what makes that public apology even worse is weeks before that he denied being an abuser, right? So even if he was or wasn't remorseful, he lied to protect his image, and that rubbed a lot of people wrong, okay? And I can understand, people say, if you a man or if you want to be a grown man, then go ahead and just admit to your wrongs. But let's be honest. Let's be honest with today's society. Is admitting your wrongs really going to give you forgiveness in today's society? Because admitting your wrongs, in some people's opinion, is actually worse than creating doubt. And I don't know how much doubt is out there now about Diddy and some of the things that he's done, but one thing for sure, two things for certain right now, what's going on with Diddy is a lot of public execution, so to say. It's a lot of, how can I say that? How can I say this? Um, Maybe not necessarily public execution, but it's a lot of he's guilty in the court of public opinion. I'll say that, right? And I'm not here to be honest, to give you a little bit of introduction on some of my talking points that I got coming up. I'm not really here to defend Diddy or to say if Diddy is guilty or not. I'm not really here to say if Diddy deserves death or if Diddy deserves jail. No, I'm not here to look at none of that. I'm not really here to, because to me, that is just feeding the TikTok narrative that's going on right now, right? And it's a lot of people who is getting their emotional bodies fed off of what's going on with Diddy. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of people who has a victim mentality, right? Who stuck in what we might call a negative frequency, right? And what I mean by that is that it's a lot of people who's been hurt by others who hasn't necessarily gotten justice or their get back or they lick back. It's a lot of people out here who's been hurt who is looking for closure still, who's looking for a healing still. And before I go any deeper, I just want to say if you are a person who has suffered any type of abuse, right, from a childhood, from a teenager, from your 20s or your 30s, and you haven't necessarily gotten over it, right? I want to tell you something, right? I want to say that unfortunately, the people who hurt us did their job. And now that we're here and we survived, right? Whether we missing a leg, whether we missing some eyelashes, right? Whether they knocked out our teeth or shot us. At the end of the day, those people who hurt us did their job. And if you out here looking for closure from a person who hurt you, I'm sorry, but you barking up the wrong tree. And the reason why I'm saying that is because unfortunately, it's up to you to seek a healing. If those people who hurt us was meant to heal us, then they would have healed us a long time ago, or they wouldn't even hurt us in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? Like sometimes we got to give ourselves closure. Sometimes we got to go in meditation or go into prayer and say, man, maybe this person isn't healthy mentally and emotionally. Maybe this person has been through something that made them do this to us, right? Another thing that happens is a lot of people take hurt personally. And I'm sorry, but you can't take hurt personally, right? Because people who's out here hurting people, unfortunately, they will probably hurt almost anybody they come across. Most unhealed empaths are enablers. And it's a lot of good people who is looking for an enabler. It's a lot of hurt people, should I say, that's out here looking for an enabler. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Like when I look at this Diddy situation, you hear me? When I look at this Diddy situation, you know what I see? I see mental illness. I see broken people. I see hurt people. I see damaged people. I see people that need a healing. And I know a lot of people is not going to agree with the perspective that I have about this situation, but that's how I look at it. That's what I see as a person who calls myself a light worker, or I don't call myself that, but I guess I guess I would fit into that category. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. So I don't remember exactly where I was at. But like I was saying, when it come down to this Diddy situation, I see a person who is hurt. What happened to the saying hurt people, right? And if that saying is still a saying, then what happened to forgiveness? What happened to grace? What happened to mercy? What happened to love, right? Having forgiveness for somebody, having grace and having mercy for love, or having grace and mercy and operating out of love doesn't mean that you allow a person to hurt you again. But choosing not to forgive is choosing to hold on to pain. It's choosing to hold on to hate. It's choosing to hold on to the things that's actually keeping you from growing as a person. And I hate to say it like this, but a lot of people don't view it that way, but that's literally what it is. We live in a time of day where we don't believe in forgiveness. We live in a time in a day where we don't believe in second chances, right? I go on the internet and I see millions and millions and millions of people who is hating and condemning Diddy that has nothing to do with the situation. I see thousands of content creators all saying the same thing. Oh, it's gonna be a list coming out and Hollywood is evil and all of this one and all of that one. And that may be true, right? That may be true. I'm not here to argue if there's bad people doing bad things, but my thing is that if you got a person who's doing bad things, whether they're doing it consciously or unconsciously, meaning that they sat back and thought about it and said, okay, I'm gonna drug this chick and I'm gonna wait till she get drugged and then I'm gonna do things to her. Or whether it's something that's done second nature, second hand, right? Where you don't even think about it. You just do it because everybody else is doing it, or you've been doing it so long that you don't help. And then I got a question, right? Is prison really going to help anybody? Or is it just going to be another person in a cell? And the reason why I'm saying that is because people is thousands of content creators and is millions of content consumers who's wishing the worst on Diddy. And I'm sitting back thinking like, is that gonna is him going to prison going to help anybody who is a victim of anything? Is it, or is it just gonna give you a temporary satisfaction of get back, right? Because the real satisfaction should come from the victims, whether it's in a Diddy case or not, receiving some sort of help, whether it's therapy, counseling, stuff like that. Um, and the not only do the perpetrators need help, but the victims need help. Or not only do the victims need help, but the perpetrators need help. And I'm not just talking about the Diddy case. I'm talking about people who are quote unquote victims from time beginning to time immemorial to time end, meaning that it's millions of people who is getting a temporary satisfaction of seeing Diddy go to jail because they have been quote unquote of they victimized in their life. But seeing Diddy go to jail doesn't help you heal. That seeing Diddy go to jail is just like hitting a crack rock. Literally. Ain't literally. Seeing Diddy go to jail is just like drinking yourself to sleep at night. Where it might give you a temporary satisfaction, but at the end of the day, it's really not helping you as a person. It's just helping you, I don't know what to call it. Swallow your feelings and throw them away. That's all it's doing. Diddy going to jail doesn't mean that Diddy is going to get the help he need. I see a person who needs help. All of these people, all these content creators, that's that's keeping the content consumers, because that's what they doing. And I hate to say it like this, but I gotta call them out. All these content creators that's following the same narrative that Diddy needs to commit suicide and Diddy needs to be in jail for the rest of his life. All these content creators that's following that narrative ain't doing nothing but keeping the content consumers a victim. That's all they doing. That's all they doing. Wait a minute. What happened to my I don't hear my sound effects. I don't hear the sound effects. The sound effects ain't cracking. Oh, okay. The echo got to be on a little bit. Yeah, that's all these people doing. All these thousands, if not million. I mean, I seen 24-hour news cycles that's dedicated to Diddy. I'm talking about, I ain't gonna call out no names, but I typed in Diddy on YouTube and then I hit live and it said 24-hour coverage of Diddy. I seen it. It's plenty of them. I seen Tisa. I seen Gene. I seen so many people going live about this, and only thing they doing is keeping the content consumers in a victim state, in a victim's mentality, right? They not offering coping mechanisms. These content creators aren't offering to pay for mental health services for people with PTSD. These content creators aren't offering free life coaching services. In fact, they're not offering services at all. The only services that they offering is telling people what they want to hear. And what I'm seeing is that it's a lot of people who feels like they're the only one and they feel like they're invalidated. And at the end of the day, they just want to be heard. But like I said a few minutes ago, if you are a victim of anything, a robbery, assault, anything, you need to seek help. Whether that's a priest or a pastor or a shrink or a counselor, a therapist, um, support group, uh, anything, whatever help look like for you, you need to seek that help because what's going on is a lot of people, right, who's been a victim for a very long time and they feel powerless in their own life. For whatever reason, they feel powerless as a victim and they drink their pain away, they smoke their pain away, they peel their pain away, and then they go on YouTube or they turn on the evening news and they get a slight satisfaction of somebody going to jail. Not satisfaction of somebody getting help. Oh, he got to pay for what he did. Let me ask you something. Who's perfect? Who's perfect? Even the victims, even the millions of man, I seen people in the comments of this one live saying, "Oh, I can't wait for TD Jakes to get arrested." TD Jakes. Now, I know there's been rumors about TD Jakes and people been quote unquote dropping facts, but the thing about facts is facts can be proven wrong. I seen people with this whole list of the same celebrities that we had 10 years ago with the Epstein case, where people were saying, "Oh, this person about to go to jail. This person going to jail." The same list. And the killer part about it, I seen content creators who was reading these lists of celebrities, and I don't see no court seal. I don't see no stamp. I don't see no nothing, no date, no signature, no time on this list. I don't see what is that called when you go? I don't even see a notary on that list. I don't see internal document of the court of New York. I don't see unsealed on this day, nothing. I just see people reading a list of names. And then the killer part about it, I'm watching this live today, y'all, and it was this list of names that was being named off this what looked like a document. And the crazy part about this document is it didn't even have quote unquote government names or people birth names on it. It had their entertainment names. Now, uh, let me ask you something. Whenever you go to court, whenever they file paperwork, the agents of the court, whenever they file paperwork, yeah, they might have your alias on there. They might have your business name or your stage name on there, but they're going to have your birth name on there. They just had a list of and entertainers' names, and these people that stuck in this victim's mentality was in the chat like, "Oh yeah, Jay Z." I'm sitting there watching the chat. I'm sitting there as this person reading off names. I'm sitting there watching the chat. "Oh yeah, Jay Z. He this one and TD Jakes and Trey Songz and Usher and they just naming people by stage name, mind you, not by birth name, not by legal name. They naming people by their stage name over and over. I mean, this one content creator I was looking at must have named about 20 people. I don't know if he named more, but I was just skimming through, preparing for the video, and not none of these people had their birth names, right? So what I'm seeing is that the content creators are only focused on making content. They don't understand that they might be making someone's PTSD worse. Because by the time that temporary satisfaction wears off when a person is hold on, let me change this. By the time that temporary satisfaction wears off where a person is getting an orgasm off Diddy going to jail, this person still gotta go to sleep at night with those same memories that's been haunting them for 30 years. They don't know that this person could be filled with so much hate that they feel like their perpetrator got away with it and they might just do something that caused them to kill themselves, like pop another pill, drink another beer, take another shot, shoot up something, right? These content creators, if you ask me, is making this victim mentality worse that we have in society. We all been a victim of something. I've been a victim. I've been a victim of abuse. Several different kinds of abuse, even as an adult. And like I said, as a quote unquote light worker or whatever you want to call me, a person who is spiritual, who believe in a higher power, a person who wants the best for all of humanity, the good people and the bad people, it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch because I can't get a dopamine release off of seeing Diddy go to jail. And since when as a society did we get did we start having orgasms based off of people being arrested? Since when did we start having orgasms off people getting drilled and shot up in the streets, dying in cold blood, in broad day in traffic? Like I remember it was a rapper, I think in Florida. He was in a car at the red light and they walked up to the car and shot him with his wife and children in the car. Thankfully, nobody else got hurt but him. But I can't say thankfully because was it so bad that he had to die in cold blood in front of his kids? When did we become heartless as a society? When did we become mindless as a society? What is going on? What can I see we got at least one person in the chat right now. Can you can you help me out? Can you tell me what am I seeing? We it's people literally having mental, spiritual, physical orgasms, right? They getting pleasure. They getting a dopamine release, serotonin release, oxytocin release from seeing people die. We celebrate when people die. We celebrate when people go to jail. That just shows me it's a lot of people who's hurt and they just looking for anything to make them feel better. They looking for anything that make me want to cry, man. It really do. That really hurt my feelings because life is the only gift we got. And the reason why I say it's the only gift we got because that's the only thing that can't be replaced. The only thing that can't be replaced. Life is the only thing that can't be replaced. I'm getting emotional, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me sip my water. Let me check my notes and see because I made some notes about this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, talking about content creators, right? We got people, and I hate to say her name, but we got people like Jaguar Wright, right? We got people like Gene Deal, and it's hundreds of other people who is saying Diddy is a this one, Diddy is a that one. Be careful with those people. The content creators too, the people who go live too, not just the people who's being interviewed, but the interviewers. Be careful of those people because those people is steering the narrative based off of opinions. I been getting on people lives and I seen people screaming at the top of their lungs. I seen people screaming at the top of their lungs, condemning Diddy. And I'm not saying that you're not entitled to an opinion. Not at all. And I'm not saying that Diddy is innocent. No, 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 not at all. But what I'm saying is that we are so emotionally charged that it's literally people getting into arguments over this Diddy stuff. And we don't even know what's true or not. We don't know what's true. Like, for example, the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, right? When I watched the press conference, they said the bald head guy with the glasses, go back and watch the press conference. He said that Diddy had workers who prepared rooms, and in the midst of preparing rooms, they have used over 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I didn't see, maybe in the documents they said when they raided Diddy house they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil. But I heard a couple people break down in paperwork and I didn't hear that. And like I said, even in the paperwork, if I'm mistaken, somebody tell me if I'm wrong. But what I heard was that over the course of time, people have prepared over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube for Diddy, and including linens and food and all the other stuff that Diddy needed for his parties or freak offs or whatever you wanted to call it, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is because I talked to a friend of mine, a person that I've known since 2015, 16. I would say somebody that I knew since about 2016, right? And the first thing that they said when the Diddy thing came up is 1,000 bottles of baby oil is crazy. That's literally what they said. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, this person has been paying attention to the news. But my thing is that we don't know what the been going on in them parties, man. We just don't know. And I only heard but a few content creators say this. And it's probably way more than what I saw. But I only saw a few content creators who said this. And what they said was that not everybody has been a victim. A lot of people has voluntarily, how can I say this? A lot of people has voluntarily partied with Diddy. A lot of people. It's a lot of people who knew what type of drugs they was taking. There's a lot of people who knew what type of things that go on at them parties. Because a lot of those people throw the same parties. I heard that Diddy was paid to throw parties for other celebrities. What? Now all of a sudden Diddy is the bad guy, so to say. I mean, I guess he brought it on himself because his mantra for a long time was bad boy. So I mean, I guess he brung it on himself. He got into a synchronicity with that, or he got into an alignment with the name that he named himself. He named himself Bad Boy, and now he's being made out to be the baddest boy that anybody ever seen. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? That is crazy. So yeah, so I'm gonna take a break from this, and I'm gonna get back to these cards, man. So back to what I was saying about these cards. Again, what I'm seeing, the three is represents growth and expansion, right? And maybe Diddy is growing from this. Maybe us as a society is gonna grow from this situation. I don't know, right? And then we got the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a person who is crying over spilled milk. And then we got the Two of Pentacles. So that's somebody who is balancing out survival. So I mean, I hate this narrative, and somebody might channel something else. But from what I see from these cards, Diddy got a long, hard road ahead of him, and he don't know if he can recover. And I don't think it's the fact that Diddy is I don't think it's the fact that Diddy is denying that he got a problem, but if you ever dealt with addiction or any type of affliction, you know it's a struggle daily. You know it's a struggle daily. I was an alcoholic. I was a weed head. I was a tobacco head. And when those things got out of control, it was a struggle for me to get it back together, right? To the point to where I remember being, how old was I? Maybe 18, 19. Maybe I was in my early 20s. I don't know. I remember it got so bad when I was like, especially smoking, I would flip over the couch. I'll shake the couch down for change just so I can get a black and mild. I would, I remember I was living with my sister before, and I lied to my sister and told her I needed bus fare to go somewhere. I don't know. And I took that money, I took that $5 and I went and bought some weed. I did. I lied, right? I know people who I used to call my best friend who stole from me just to buy weed. I know people who lied and said they needed money for food, right? And they would tell a person anything, just not crack, not heroin, for weed. So just imagine being a person with with, I don't know. They say Diddy was a billionaire. Maybe part of it was credit. Maybe part of that was contracts. I don't know. But imagine having a debit card, right, with access to, let's just say, $1 million in one bank account, and being an addict, being a sex addict, being a power addict, right, being an alcoholic, being a weed addict, being a coke addict, and whatever else drugs that they use, right? I think men and women, right? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. I think men and women, if these people, if I would say 30 to 50% of people, and this is just my opinion, right? Since everybody giving their opinions, right? A fact can be proven false. I think men and women, it's about 35% of the people that's out here condemning Diddy, that they would be the same person as Diddy if they had his resources. I do. I do. I think maybe 50% of the people, especially adults, young adults, I would say from like 16 to 40, all the people that's out here hating Diddy right now, I think half the people who had his resources would do the same thing. Because I know women who's addicted to everything, sex, food. I know women who's addicted to drugs right now, today. I can call them up right now. I know. See, we try to make it seem like it's a man versus woman thing, and That's another narrative that I'm really hating right now because it's painting the picture as black men as the perpetrators, and it's painting the picture as black women as the victim. And I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm not saying that there aren't victims and there aren't perpetrators. But what I'm saying is that we being locked in a mentality, or we being locked in a thought process, or we being locked in a belief, or I don't know the word that I want to look that I want to say, but we being locked into the a belief that men and women are hated and against each other. My last ex, she was physically abusive. She was mentally abusive. In 2 years, I never called her out her name. I never called her a B word, nothing. Never put my hands on her, nothing. Several times was I assaulted. Several times I was insulted. Several times I was lied to on 911 calls. Thankfully, not one time was I ever arrested, but several times I was a victim of those things and way more. I can say this because it's the truth. I was threatened as a man, as a 30-year-old man. I was threatened that if I didn't have sex with a woman, if I wasn't cooking and cleaning and taking care of her kids, that I had to get out her house. So people want to talk about men using power over women. And a few years ago, I was a victim of that same situation, to where if I wasn't doing what this young lady wanted me to do, which was give her all my money, cook, clean, have sex, take care of the kids, and deal with the physical and mental abuse, verbal abuse. And not only that, I couldn't complain. I couldn't say, "Hey, I don't like this." You know what? What I was told when I had a complaint and I brought it up, this my house. If you don't like it, you can leave. So where's the federal indictment at for that? Because she was using her power over me to get sex, to get free labor, right? Because the relationship, there was no love because she was incapable of loving. She's incapable of loving. Anytime you get somebody who says love is an action word only, that means that's a person who can't feel, because love is an emotion. Yes, your emotions cause you to take action, right? Because if I'm fearful of something, then I'm going to react how fearful people react. If something is amusing me, uh-oh. If something is amusing me, then I'm going to react in an amused way, right? If something is hurting me, I'm going to react in a hurtful way, right? So again, if a person is loved, or if a person is feeling love or is experiencing the emotions of love, then they're going to act in a loving way, right? We call that a love language. But when a person say love is an action, you got to prove to me you love me. What? So when you laugh at something, is that proof that something is funny? Because sometimes people laugh to keep from crying. I don't know. Maybe that was a bad analogy. I don't know. Y'all can tell me, but back to these cars, man. So my breakdown of these cars is that Diddy is contemplating life, man. I don't know if it's necessarily suicide, right? I know I don't want to feed that narrative, But Diddy is looking at life from a different lens. And I don't think it started when he was arrested. Because if you know anything about having a lawyer or retainer, anytime that you are charged with anything, they will contact your lawyer. Anytime you got a lawyer on file, so that means that Diddy probably knew about this months ago. Diddy knew he was going to jail when he had a search warrant. Because in order for them to have a search warrant, they got to have probable cause for a search warrant. Period. Now, it's some people who abuse the law, right? Because of what is that thing called that they passed? Patriot Act, where they said that you didn't have to get a lawyer for certain types of warrants. But little do we know that the Patriot Act expired. The Patriot Act actually expired in 2020. So a lot of these agencies is abusing their power. I'll say it. No disrespect, but it's the truth. A lot of these agencies is abusing their power, right? And then we keep hearing about Diddy, Homeland Security, the feds, the feds, the feds, the FBI, the feds, the feds, the feds. Come on, man. It's not like Diddy ain't have some inkling on what was going on. But I think because Diddy tried to change his name to Love like 10 years ago. So my thing is that how do you know what's on a person's mind? How do you know what's on a person's heart? The best thing we can do is judge a person by his actions, right? But let me give you an example because when I was smoking cigarettes, every single day I said, you know what, I got to stop smoking cigarettes, right? I would say it. I said, I got to stop smoking cigarettes. But what would I do? Before I knew it, I was lighting up a cigarette and smoking it again. Welcome, welcome. I said we got some new people in the chat. Welcome. We just chopping it up about Diddy. I'm giving my perspective from yeah, okay, bye. From a light worker's point of view. I guess they left because I wasn't saying Diddy should die, but that's okay. That is okay. 'Cause I'm not gonna wish death on Diddy. But when I was smoking cigarettes every single day, in my head and on my heart, I was saying that I gotta stop. But the addiction kept me in a position to where I would be smoking a cigarette without no conscious thought, right? People who is addicted to sex, they're not having any conscious thought when they turn on that porno or when they, is forcing their sexual partner against their will. No, there is no conscious thought. That's the whole thing about that's why they say addiction is a mental illness. Addiction is a mental illness, right? Because your brain chemistry is altered. Your brain, I'm gonna say this again. As if you have an addiction, your brain chemistry is altered, and it's altered to keep you providing whatever that stimulus is to give yourself eh, the chemical release in your brain that you want to make you feel good. Whether you addicted to pain, whether you addicted to love, whether you addicted to food, whether you addicted to drugs, whether you addicted to cigarettes. The whole point of being addicted is saying that I am powerless against this impulse. I am powerless against this want. This want is so bad that it turned into a need. That's what addiction is, right? So everybody always talk about Diddy had cocaine and Diddy had that sounds like an addiction, right? They always say Diddy was having sex for days and days at a time. That sounds like an addiction. His addiction was so bad that he wanted to watch other people. I don't know, man. But like I said, man, it sounds like an addiction to me, man. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a addiction to me. And again, if an addiction is mental illness, then where the help at for the mentally ill? Where the help at? Where the help at for the mentally ill? I'm listening. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And I know eventually there's going to be somebody who's going to click on this video and they going to say, I'm a bad person because Diddy should suffer. Diddy should do this. And I'm sorry, but I can't wish suffering on nobody, even bad people. I can't. That's not within me. I can't wish suffering on anybody. I can't. I'm sorry. That's just not me. I can't say I'm happy that this person is feeling pain. Whatever the suffering is, whether the person is physically hurt, mentally hurt, emotionally hurt. Sorry, but I can't do it. I can't wish hurt on nobody. Mm. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I hit all my talking points or not. I don't know, but I feel like I gave this topic a whole hour and I feel like I'm gonna leave it at that. So again, looking at these tarot cards, I'm not gonna say Diddy is suicidal or anything like that, but what I will say is that based off of this tarot reading that I got, Diddy is looking at the future and Diddy is crying over spoiled milk. And Diddy is not contemplating, but Diddy is performing a balance in that, right? There's high waters in the back of that three. So what them high waters is saying is that there is a very, very emotional thing going on. So what these cards is telling me, right? What these cards is telling me is not the fact that Diddy is proud of what's going on. What these cards is telling me is that he's been remorseful, that he's been dealing with a balancing act for a very long time. And I just pray the best comes from this situation. I don't wish death on them. I don't wish death on nobody. I don't, you know, it's people out here who still love Diddy, whether it's fans, whether it's his family. Like it's people out here who still quote unquote need Diddy in their life. Diddy created millionaires. Diddy Diddy has helped a lot of people. And I know money isn't everything, right? But Diddy is accused of a lot of things, but we know for a fact Diddy has done a lot for a lot of people, whether it's his record label or whether it's his TV network or his radio network, whether it was any of his businesses. Because I don't know all of his businesses. I don't know. I don't really know. I haven't dug deep into all his businesses. I haven't dug deep into the Combs Enterprises and all that other stuff that people was naming. Because you know what I see? I see Diddy going down, but I also see one of our kids one day can possibly be accused of something with no evidence. And I'm not talking about Diddy, right? But how often in the hood do we see people be accused, right? Whether it's accused, a complaint to the police, or somebody quote unquote spreading rumors or exposing somebody on the internet, right? Things like this doesn't do nothing but make it easier for other people who's falsely accused to be swept under the rug. Let's talk about it. Things like this going on in the media is going to make it easier for our kids to one day be falsely accused and swept under the rug. It ain't no way. Because when you see all of these celebrities that's supposed to be of high stature, that's supposed to be mature, that's supposed to be quote unquote leaders and role models, when you believe that the role models is evil, then a common folk don't have nothing coming. A person that's considered a peer, a person that you feel like is less than you, don't have nothing coming at all. And it's sad. A lot of people don't see this. A lot of people don't see it. We literally coming to a point to where only thing you got to do is just cry wolf, and people gonna believe it. Because I mean, if you talking about MJ, you talking about Bill Cosby. I mean, you talking even people that's that's quote unquote Caucasian or white or Jewish or it's happening everywhere. I heard somewhere where they said Tiffany Haddish and what's his name? Not Faison Love, but they said Faison Love might be guilty too of this stuff. But what's this? Ari Spears. Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish was working together to recruit and groom kids. So it's literal. They literally accusing, and I don't know if it's true or not. And I didn't see no. I just heard somebody talking about it. But man, over the last 15, 20 years, it's literally been 90% of Hollywood. John Legend. All of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges. All your perfect imperfections. Even John Legend and his wife and I saw the tweet that his wife made, and it was yeah, I saw the tweets that she made, and they was definitely questionable. So we got a supermodel, and we got a micro mini me pimp, aka I don't know, a small fry, pretty boy. Oh, John Legend, right? Even John Legend, John Legend of all people. We got everybody. And then now I hear that somebody said that Trey Songz was making out with Diddy at a party. And Trey Songz been accused of domestic violence. Trey Songz been accused of being a homosexual. Now Trey Songz is probably going to get wrapped up in some pedophilia stuff now. Like another thing too, I heard when I was watching the press conference, Diddy lawyer said it was one victim right now and 50 witnesses. And then I heard somewhere that it went from 50 witnesses to 300 witnesses without no proof. Like people like, okay, I'm more okay, I'll believe a lawyer more than I'll believe just a regular blogger. I will because he's Diddy's lawyer. But he said that the feds was cute. I know y'all seen that. He said the feds was cute because they was playing with words in a sense. And they was leading people to believe that they had all of these victims, but really so far is only one victim in the case. Now I don't know. I haven't. I just heard a piece of that news brief that he did. That Diddy's lawyer did. Shout out to him. I don't know his name, but it's just crazy. It's crazy. This is crazy to me, man. So, like I said, man, I said I was gonna wrap it up 10 minutes ago, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up now, man, because I feel like now I'm about to just start going into a whole bunch of speculation. And like I said, I'm not here to feed the victim because a lot of these content creators they just giving victims crumbs to feed on. They not offering nobody no type of help. These people don't need entertainment. These people need help. What? Am I the only one seeing this? Come on, man. Listen, I'm wishing you and yours peace, love, health, and wealth. If anybody try to sell you anything else, tell them to put it back on the shelf because we ain't buying it. Peace.